Hello everyone. Uh, Welcome back to our lecture series on fluid mechanics 2, and this is our ninth lecture where we are going to start a new topic, drag on a sphere, and we are going to discuss how the fluid flow going to exert a drag on a sphere. And here we are going to consider submerged body as a sphere, and what will be the drag exerted by the fluid on a sphere. So we'll consider two cases. In the first case, we are going to discuss about the ideal fluid. So when ideal fluid going to pass the sphere, what will be the drag on the sphere? And in another case, we will consider real fluid which is going to pass the sphere, and then we will discuss that case too. In this lecture, we will discuss ideal fluid condition when my ideal fluid going to pass the sphere. As we know, fluid is said to be ideal when viscosity of the fluid is zero, that is value of mu is equal to 0. If the value of mu is 0, that means that there is no viscosity, and then that fluid is said to be an ideal. And we also know that ideal fluid does not exist, and those fluid are only imaginary fluid. So whatever this case is also imaginary, and whenever we are going to going to calculate pressure distribution or going to calculate drag on the sphere, uh, when ideal fluid going to pass to that sphere, then that whole case will be the imaginary, and whatever the pressure distribution can be only plotted by analytical method. So we will start with this case. Now whenever my ideal fluid going to pass the sphere, due to absence of viscosity, there will be no boundary layer formation near this solid body, that is nearby the sphere. Why? Because whenever my fluid come in contact with the uh, solid boundary, at that time one layer of the fluid getting stick with the boundary, and it will attain that velocity, whatever the velocity having that boundary or that sphere. And if the velocity of the sphere is zero, that is if it is stationary, in that case my fluid will become stationary, one layer of the fluid will become stationary. Now whenever this one layer of the fluid come in contact with the another layer which is flowing adjacent to it or which is flowing over it, at that time if there is a viscosity, that layer is going to exert a resistance on that another layer. That is our viscosity property. And if there is no viscosity, there will be no resistance in between those two layers. And if there is no resistance, so whatever the velocity of the second layer will remain same. And if there is no viscosity, there will be no velocity change in the adjacent layer of the fluid. And if there is no velocity change, there will be no velocity gradient going to form in this region. And if there is no velocity gradient, we all know there will be no boundary layer. Now whenever my ideal fluid going to pass this sphere, at that time in the first case it is going to come in contact with the sphere, and one layer of the fluid getting stick with it. So this will become our first point where my velocity of the fluid will become that velocity, whatever velocity having this object. And if I'm considering my sphere is stationary, so that means that this point will become stagnation point where the velocity of the liquid will become zero. Stagnation point is that point where velocity of the fluid will become zero, or will attain that velocity, whatever velocity having that particular object. So here in this case I am considering my sphere as a stationary. So in that case, my whatever the fluid which is come in contact with the sphere, that will attain that zero velocity. So this will be my first point where there will be a stagnation in the liquid, and this layer will be continued over up to this. And after that this flow will takes place like this. So this will become my another stagnation point where my velocity of the liquid will become zero. As there is no viscosity, as there is no boundary layer, if there is no boundary layer, whatever the pattern of the fluid or streamline will remain same before as well as after sphere, that is after solid boundary. Now if the pattern of the streamline is going to remain same before and after of the solid object or after the sphere, that means that whatever the pressure exerted by this fluid on this front side will remain same on this rear side. That means that whatever the magnitude of pressure going to exert on this front side will remain same on the rear face as well. Now if those two pressures acting on the front side as well as on the rear side, if both are same and acting in opposite direction, in that case whatever the net force acting on the sphere will become zero. So there will be no drag in case of ideal fluid. Why? Because there is no viscosity, there is no boundary layer, there is no boundary, and obviously whatever the pressure going to exert at the front end will remain same but opposite in the direction on the rear face of the sphere. And that's why my net drag force acting on the sphere will become 0. So if I'm considering the horizontal axis of the sphere, then whatever the streamline pattern on the both side of this horizontal axis, that is also symmetrical. If I'm considering vertical axis, so if you look at the vertical about this vertical axis, so the streamline pattern is symmetrical about this axis as well. So that means that there will be no net force acting on this particular sphere on the front side as well as rear side, because there is no boundary layer, and net force acting on the sphere will be 0. Now if I talk about this region where my area of flow is getting reduced, as my area of flow is getting reduced, that means that velocity going to increase. The flow will be accelerated at this point, and as the flow is getting accelerated, pressure will be decreased. So as my pressure decreasing and velocity increasing, that means that there will be a formation of slightly negative pressure. That is, as you can see here, analytically obtained value, the value of pressure distribution is become minus 1.25. This ratio delta P upon rho V square upon 2, that is nothing but the coefficient of CD. So value of CD, you can say that, and it is going to give you the change in pressure. So what is the value of the top side and bottom side, as it is the ideal fluid, so both will remain same. So whatever the pressure at the bottom side and top side, both will remain same. Again, as there is no viscosity, there will be no skin friction, or there will be no deformation drag which is going to act on this particular sphere. So in case of real fluid, in case of ideal fluid, there will be no drag acting on the sphere. Now if I talk about the real fluid, due to presence of viscosity, in case of real fluid, whatever my pressure distribution will be slightly different whatever we have obtained analytically in case of ideal fluid, and this is only because of viscosity, because real fluid going to possess certain amount of viscosity, and due to that viscosity, obviously there will be a formation of boundary layer at this sphere, and that is going to affect your pressure distribution, and this pressure distribution will be the different than whatever we have discussed in case of ideal fluid. Now if I increase my velocity of the fluid flow slightly by keeping other properties as a constant. Other properties means what? If we keep density and viscosity constant, and if I increase velocity of the flow, if I am increasing velocity of the flow, in that case, whatever my fluid flow may get converted into laminar to turbulent. Now, as we all know, we are going to define those flow, laminar or turbulent, by using Reynolds number. Now, when the flow is getting converted from laminar to turbulent, in that case, obviously, whatever the wake formation, size of the wake is going to change, because in case of turbulent flow, whatever the separation point will be pushed on the more on the downstream side, and if that wake separation point pushed downward or downstream side, in that case wake size of the wake will be decreased, and if size of wake is getting decreased, obviously whatever the negative pressure zone is getting decreased, and net drag force which is acting on the body will also get decreased. So as this laminar and turbulent both are going to play important role, and those classification we are working out by using Reynolds number, and obviously so this Reynolds number are going to play important role in case of drag exerted by the real fluid on the sphere. So we are going to discuss that Reynolds number limit, or we are going to make use of Reynolds limit to discuss force a drag on a sphere when real fluid going to pass the sphere. So we will make use of Reynolds limits, and we will see how that drag is going to change with respect to the different Reynolds number value, and that we are going to discuss in the next lecture. I will stop here. Thank you for watching.